Thank you for watching the video from Bald Eagle Soaring High again. My issues are mainly about immigration policies, just like why and how to immigrate. Where should you migrate to? Those who are interested in the developed world outside and looking for immigration methods sincerely, please search and follow me, so that you can find useful immigration information about dozens of countries on my channel, and I'll continuously update the latest and useful immigration information timely. Your messages, forwarding, and following will be my greatest motivation to continue creating. Thank you all. Today's topic is the immigration policies and methods of Mexico. Full name: the United Mexican States. As of July 2024, the total population is more than 136.38 million, with a per capita GDP of over $12.67 thousand US, and Spanish, Mexico, is generally the official language. Up to now, within the total 198 countries, excluding regions, on Earth, the Mexico passport ranks 19th in the world. In terms of visa-free quantity in 152 countries, including 98 visa-free countries, 48 landing visas and 6 electronic travel documents. My personal main impression of Mexico is too close to the United States. The necessary path for illegal immigration into the United States. Terrifying gang forces. Promising manufacturing base. Easily obtainable dual citizenship. The entry point into the North American market. Have you ever been to Mexico? What is your impression of Mexico? Can you share it with everyone in the comments section? Thank you for your kindness. 1. The main methods of Mexico immigration. 1. Temporary resident visa. General parts. Foreign nationals and their families who wish to settle in Mexico may apply for a temporary resident visa. This visa comprises several categories such as scientific research, economic solvency, real estate investment, education, marriage, among others. The permit is usually issued for 1 year, but it is renewable annually for a further 3 years, 3+1, provided that requirements are still met. Prior to its expiration, a temporary resident may apply for a permanent resident permit if he or she has continuously resided in the country for 4 years, i.e. has paid Mexican income taxes. After 5 years of legal residency, a resident may be eligible for naturalization. To obtain citizenship, they must have Spanish language skills and pass a test and interview about Mexican history, culture, and values. Nationals of Iberia, Spain and Portugal, or Latin American countries may be eligible for citizenship after 2 years of legal residency. A. Economic solvency. You may obtain a temporary resident visa in Mexico if you prove that during the last year you had an overall bank balance of over $27,000 US, or during the last 6 months you had a monthly income of over $1,620 US. Under this visa category, you may not be allowed to conduct lucrative activities, such as employment, in the country. Requirements. A. Original and a photocopy of investment receipts or bank statements showing you had an overall bank balance of over $27,000 US during the past 12 months, or B. Original and a photocopy of documents showing a monthly income of over $1,620 US, 6 months. Documents required. A. Original and photocopy of passport. B. Proof of income. C. 1 passport size photo. D. Proof of net wealth. E. Bank statement. B. Real estate property. You may obtain a temporary resident visa in Mexico if you own a real estate property in Mexico with a value exceeding 2,804,000 Mexican pesos. Under this visa category, you may not be allowed to conduct lucrative activities, such as employment, in the country. Requirements. A. Public deed signed before a commissioner of oath certifying that the foreigner is the holder of real estate property with a value exceeding 2,804,000 Mexican pesos or its equivalent in USD. Documents required. A. Original and photocopy of passport. B. 1 passport size photo. C. Bank statement. D. Title deeds or proof of registration of real estate. C. Business investor. You may obtain a temporary resident visa in Mexico if you have at least 1,400,000 Mexican pesos, or its equivalent in USD, capital stock shares disbursed in a Mexican corporation, or you are the owner of a company which owns a real estate with a value of at least 1,400,000 Mexican pesos or its equivalent in USD, or you perform business activities in Mexico and you have at least 3 employees. Requirements: A. Deed or policy from a Mexican corporation signed before a commissioner of oaths, or a document duly certified by the administrative body or a competent officer thereof, stating that you have shares in the capital stock of the Mexican corporation, and that the amount of the investment effectively disbursed for your share in the corporation will exceed 1,400,000 Mexican pesos or its equivalent in USD, or B. Document proving the ownership of personal property of a company in Mexico with a value exceeding 1,400,000 Mexican pesos or its equivalent in USD, or C. Documents proving business activities in Mexican territory, which could be proven by contracts, service orders, invoices, licenses, and permits, and a certificate issued by the Mexican Social Security Institute proving that you employ at least 3 workers. Documents required: A. Original and photocopy of passport. B. 1 passport-size photo. C. Bank statement. D. Certified copy of business license or incorporation documents. E. Documents certifying business investment. 2. Permanent resident visa. Retirees who wish to settle permanently in Mexico may apply for a permanent resident visa. Under this visa category, retirees may not be allowed to conduct lucrative activities in the country. Dependents may be included in the application. If you wish to retire in Mexico, you will have to prove that during the previous 6 months you have been receiving at least 300 days worth of Mexican minimum wage, roughly $1,600 from a pension or other retirement source, or prove that you have investments or bank accounts with an average overall balance equivalent to $107,000 during the previous year. The permit is valid indefinitely. After 5 years of legal residency, you may be eligible for naturalization. To obtain citizenship, you must have Spanish language skills and pass a test and interview about Mexican history, culture, and values. Nationals of Iberia, Spain, and Portugal, or Latin American countries may be eligible for citizenship after 2 years of legal residency. Requirements: A. Proof of investment or bank accounts with an average monthly overall balance equivalent to $107,000, 12 months, or B. Proof of monthly income from pensions, bank accounts in the amount of at least $1,620, 6 months. Documents required: A. Original and photocopy of passport. B. 1 passport-size photo. C. Bank statement. D. Proof of pension. 2. Applicants' nationality requirements. 1. Restricted nationalities. No nationality is officially restricted. 2. Dual citizenship. Dual citizenship is recognized in Mexico. You are not required to renounce your previous nationality to become a citizen of Mexico. 3. Taxes, for reference only, cannot be construed as tax advice. Mexican tax residents are individuals who have established a permanent home in Mexico, or their center of vital interests is in Mexico. Mexico is considered to be the center of vital interests if more than 50% of an individual's income is obtained from a Mexican source, or Mexico is their primary professional activities place. Tax residents are subject to taxation on their worldwide income, while non-residents are taxed on their income derived from Mexico. The personal income tax rate is progressive up to 35% on income exceeding 3 million Mexican pesos. Non-residents are exempt on their first 125,900 Mexican pesos and subject to a tax rate of 15% on income between 125,900 Mexican pesos and 1 million Mexican pesos and 30% on the excess. Capital gains are treated as ordinary income, however those derived from the sale of securities listed in the Mexican Stock Exchange are taxed at a reduced rate of 10%. Sale of a main residential property is tax exempt. The exemption is limited to a certain amount and a sale every 3 years. Dividends are considered taxable income and also subject to a 10% withholding tax, however a tax credit may apply for corporate tax paid. Dividends received from foreign entities are fully taxable and also subject to the 10% withholding tax. Interests are included in the tax base, except those derived from certain exempted small balance accounts. Rental income is also taxable under personal income tax, although certain deductions may be available. Mexico has enacted Controlled Foreign Company (CFC) rules. Profits retained in foreign entities resident of considered tax havens, owned by Mexican tax residents, may be attributable, provided that the taxpayer has effective control of the administration of the investment, or the total amount is more than 160,000 Mexican pesos. Municipalities levy real property taxes. Tax paid may be deductible on rental taxable income. There is a transfer tax between 2% and 5% on the transfer of real properties. There are no inheritance taxes, nor taxes on net wealth. The standard VAT rate is 18%. Food and medicine are usually exempt. Regarding corporate taxation, resident entities are subject to income tax on their worldwide income at a 30% rate. Capital gains are included in taxable income. Dividends from resident entities are tax-exempt, whereas those from foreign subsidiaries are subject to taxation. Usually a tax credit is available for foreign tax paid. Finally, there is no best immigration program, only the most suitable immigration program. There are also some other contents and projects that cannot be elaborated on here due to review policies, word count, and time constraints. Interested friends can contact me, negius.ing@gmail.com, to obtain them. Also, what I'd love you to do is if you find any incorrect or outdated information, could you please scroll down right now and leave the correct suggestions? We'll appreciate you for sharing the useful knowledge. Thank you all for watching the video.